All right. Well, the first thing I'd like to do is to thank Common Sense Citizens for allowing us the opportunity to talk here today. It's an excellent forum for you guys to get to know the technical difficulties. Try that right. All right. It's a great forum for the voters to get to know the candidates. And I also want to thank the audience for being here today, for being engaged in the process. It's very commendable. So the first thing I want to do is just to introduce myself personally to you. I'm 48 years old. I will be 48 years old this month. I've been a lifelong Washington County resident. I am married to my high school sweetheart. I have two kids, ages 13 and 15. On a personal note, I am a youth football coach. I've been doing that for the past 5 years, teaching good sportsmanship to little fifth graders. I grew up in a conservative household. My father was a Republican sheriff 30 years ago, and so that ideology is just basically who I am, the idea of limited but effective government, constitutional rights, privacy rights. That's all just who I am. On a professional level, I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 27 years. And of those 27 years, 17 years have been as a supervisor. Either a sergeant, lieutenant, shift commander, administrative lieutenant, records custodian, captain, under sheriff. I spent 20 years on the tactical team, many of those years as an assistant team leader, running tactical operations, the high-speed type thing, situational leadership, quick decisions. But probably most important now is what I am doing right now. Right now, I am the captain of administration, where I run the administrative division, the communications center, which dispatches for 13 fire and rescue departments, 6 full-time and part-time police departments. And I also manage our county-wide law enforcement public safety radio system. It's a $14 million radio system. And probably most important right now is I'm also the statutorily appointed undersheriff, the second in command of the department. I have the statutory obligation to act on the sheriff's behalf in his absence. The 3 things that I want you to know about for informational purposes are my dedication to public safety, and I have plans I hope to be able to enlighten you guys on everything from heroin to school safety to mental intervention. But I also, what's very important to me is the transparency of government and the transparency of our sheriff's office. The current sheriff is working very, very hard, and I've been mentoring under him for the past several years. That we have the public's trust. And that is extremely important to me, and I would never allow any type of procedure, tactic, methodology that would ever compromise that public trust. That is number 1 to me. And finally is the issue of fiscal responsibility. In this position, it's not very glamorous, but you deal with money. Our current operating budget last year was $20 million. And of that $20 million, $17.2 million of it was tax levy money. That's money that came out of your pocket, my pocket, all of our pockets. I take the responsibility for keeping track of that money very seriously. For the past 11 years, I have been in charge of multi-million-dollar budget centers for that my portion of the third of the department. So what I would say to you is that my commitment to you is that I am going to make sure that public safety is kept absolutely paramount, that we do so with transparency, so the public knows that we're doing. If you notice that in this day and age, there are a lot of police departments that have to defend themselves in their actions and what they've been doing lately. That's not the case with Washington County. That's not an accident. That's by design. That comes from keeping high standards for our personnel, making sure that people uphold from those standards. And the other part is my commitment is for fiscal responsibility to make sure that I watch your taxpayers' dollars every cent of it. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Green light should be on.
And you guys hear me now? There we go. My name is Jason Guslick, and again, I'm happy that Bernie Newman and Common Sense Citizens invited me here this evening to this forum tonight. I think this is a great opportunity for the residents of Washington County to get to know both of us and you know, get some of their questions answered. First, a little bit about me and my background. I as well am a lifelong resident of Washington County. I grew up in the town of Jackson. I did go away to college in the Madison area originally to go to school for drafting and electronics, and started taking my general education courses through the UW Colleges system towards engineering, when I kind of had a personal calling in my life that I wanted to have a career that I could look back in my life and be proud of and serve the citizens. So that's when I decided to switch gears and move into the area of criminal justice. After completing my degree, I was really proud to be able to come home here to Washington County and serve the residents of Washington County where I grew up. Since returning to Washington County, I've lived in the Village of Jackson, Village of Germantown, and now the town of Germantown. Married to my wife Jennifer, about 12 years this fall, and we have 2 daughters, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. As far as my professional experience goes at the Sheriff's Office, I've been a patrol deputy, I've been a patrol sergeant in charge of our court services division, patrol lieutenant, and currently our lieutenant of administration. I've also been for about 13 years a negotiator on our SWAT team, and for several years now I've been the lead negotiator in command of our SWAT negotiations team and part of the incident command structure at SWAT incidents. I also manage our and supervise our part-time deputy program, which we call our special deputy program. But you know, really, I think, you know, honestly, I can make you a long list of law enforcement professionals here in Washington County that would be qualified to be the sheriff here in Washington County. And it's clear, I believe, in this race that both of us are qualified to be sheriff here. In my opinion, what really separates the candidates, or what the citizens have to make a decision on, is what candidate do you believe is stronger on the issues and has a clear vision for the future of the Sheriff's Office. I just want to quickly touch about, and hopefully people ask questions about the issues that I'm taking a position on. A strong position on is taking a position on school safety. You know, I believe in defending the Constitution and the Second Amendment. Probably a lot of you, if you've read my materials, see I'm proud to tell people I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. I've received the endorsement of Tim Schmidt, USCCA, and Delta Defense. I think, you know, as far as I have strategies that I believe to be able to make an impact locally on the opioid heroin crisis and any other type of drug that might come in and replace it. I take the stance on immigration that I would cooperate with the federal government on the enforcement of immigration law here in Washington County. And I believe one of the most vital issues here in Washington County is protecting our residents from criminals from the surrounding areas, from victimizing the citizens of Washington County. Again, factually, now 1 in 5 of the jail bookings, 20% almost, is a city of Milwaukee resident. And also, I believe as conservatives, if you look at ways that we can also prevent crime, I think there's things we'd be doing better here in Washington County at the Sheriff's Office as far as addressing the mental health crisis. I do believe legitimately there's a mental health crisis in America, and there are strategies you can use, and with the resources that we currently have in the county to you know, better cooperate and work on that issue. My vision for the future of the Sheriff's Office is to move us towards a principles and values-based organization. Some of those principles would be courage, integrity, ethical performance, respect, fairness, leadership, and balance. And some of those associated values are courtesy, fiscal responsibility, openness of operation, and there are others. You know, the sheriff is a unique position in law enforcement, is beholden only to the voters. This is a chance for you to elect a sheriff that matches those principles and values that citizens of Washington County hold near and dear to their hearts. And I look forward to having a positive discussion with Marty tonight about the issues in the future of the Sheriff's Office.